right, we're in.
All right. Panic.
It's time.
Yay!
Woo!
Monster Hunter Wild Bingo. It's happening. I can't believe it, frankly. It's going to be very interesting. We didn't get as much practice as we'd hoped. This is probably going to be the most amateur bingo match you've ever seen.
It's going to be so fun.
But there's content to be had there nonetheless.
I would like to humbly thank chat for giving me my main weapon in the bid war. I am a hunting horn main, and I've never been happier in my whole life.
And the secondary option was Gun Lance, which I have never touched in my life, as this is my first Monster Hunter. So for the sake of the first hunt, we will both be using those weapons as voted on by the bid war. Thank you from Happy. How dare you from me? Yeah, we're going to be playing Monster Hunter Wilds Bingo specifically. We do have two fantastic people joining us over Discord for comms, including the person who kind of put this all together. Would you two like to introduce yourselves real quick?
Yeah, Blanks, you want to go first or should I go first?
Yeah, sure. I'm Blanks. Hello, everybody. I am a participant in Captain Domo's bingo events, including this Monster Hunter Wilds bingo that will actually be running at Summer Games Done Quick. Yeah, Domo just putting together all the bingo events. Just, fantastically run events, super smooth. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's event. And now it's your turn, Domo, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Captain Domo here, a.k.a. Domo or Dom, whatever you want to say. Or, works for me. We've done quite a few different bingos. This is one that I worked on for about a month now. This is a format of Monster Hunter Bingo that works the best, at least what I've found to be working the best. These two players are showcasing it for the first time now on a stage, which is really, really cool. We'll be, as Blanks mentioned, we'll showcase this at SGDQ as well. Pretty much for any Monster Hunter fans behind the scenes that don't know what's happening.
Why did decorations back?
Pretty much they work off of a save file, and then there is a bingo objectives, 25 of them on a randomized board, as you see on the bottom right of your screen now, as it says click to reveal. There'll be objectives, and those players clear those. But back to the players for now.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I apparently forgot to get rid of my decorations, so I'm going to try really hard to pay attention to which ones I get from drops and only use those. And if I mess up, chat can roast me.
We don't use any.
Will you also not use any?
I don't have any. I got rid of them all.
Do we not get any from drops?
No.
Ever? Oh, okay. Then I just won't use any ever.
Yeah, we just
Cool.
get punished.
Great. Easy peasy.
Yeah. So after we start this bingo match in a few seconds here, you're going to stop hearing from us. It's all going to be color commentary from the two actual professionals in the call, and then potentially some donations from Ash behind us. So Happy, if you're feeling ready.
I am as ready as I'm going to
We're
get.
going to have like a 10-second buffer after we start this to just look at it, and then 2 minutes of prep time, effectively. All right, Tech, we are going to start this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Luck, guys.
All right, 10 seconds.
Good luck.
Gamer.
All right.
Tips microphone.
All right. I'm assuming they can't hear us anymore, but here we go,
can
chat.
still hear
So
you.
the board is now
We can hear them.
here. Okay.
Well, in the meantime, I can tell y'all that earlier we got a $25 donation from your Uncle Finch, a $25 donation from Alger and Prim, and a $200 donation from Anonymous, which brings us to $588.62 raised for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Thank you so much for all of your kind contributions.
All right, cool. All right, well, welcome back, guys. And we're looking at this board here. I'm going to bring in a little bit of my board here as well here. We have a couple different squares. As you guys can see, there is the bingo board 5x5, so it's 25 objectives. And this is lockout bingo. So for people at home that have never seen bingo before, pretty much if one of the players gets a square that is an objective and marks it, the other player can't get that square anymore. So pretty much they're locked out of that option themselves, which means pretty much that there's sniping that happens. There's a thing of like losing out on something. So if both players are working on Slay a
We can still hear each
Gypsaros,
other. We should probably.
and Xenadir gets it first and marks that, then Happy can no longer mark that square and loses out
game
on getting that
knowledge is really
objective
good.
at all,
Hold on back here.
which can sway boards very heavily, and it creates a lot of tension, obviously, because only one person's allowed to have that. Yeah, so looking at the board here, we have quite a few objectives, a lot of killing, obviously, because this is Monster Hunter. So we have like Slay Kongalala, which is a pretty early one. Capturing Ian Kutku is pretty quick as well. But normally,
Also,
so
lots
the
of weapon-based squares as well, right? Like we got the center square is complete hunt with a power clash, mount and offset. We have hunt a monster with sword and shield, hunt a monster with hammer. So you're going to be seeing these players try to use these objectives to their advantage. Like let's say a player goes for a sword and shield hunt on a Ray Dow. That is 2 squares on that column 5. So a super good like board play that would be. Yeah, we're going to be getting started here in just a moment. It looks like the players are starting their hunts. First hunt is always in low rank. We'll see what they choose for the first hunt.
Yeah, there is a rule here that the first hunt always has to be low rank, which Xenadir now is realizing that is the blue stars, not the yellow stars. Yellow stars are high rank. So yeah, they're going to be looking here to see what they do first. Normally, when it comes to Wilds Bingo, the first rank being low rank, you want to use that normally on an Apex Predator because obviously if they're low rank, they're going to be easier to kill than if they're high rank. So they're being like Slay Ray Dow, for example, on row 3, column 5. You want to do that in low rank. It's just going to be the easiest for you in that moment. And then you can use that to get yourself a good weapon. There is a mod that the 2 players are using that we also made for Wilds Bingo, which is pretty much there is no more random drops. So if you're thinking like, oh, they have to craft something out of the parts of the animals or of the monsters, that's not a thing anymore. The mod itself actually just gives you a ticket. So if you kill Ray Dow, you get a Ray Dow ticket, and you can just turn that in for 1 piece of armor or for 1 weapon. And so then players can like kind of progress that way their character to make sure that they have continuous momentum and can like work towards other squares. So for example, if they kill Ray Dow and they turn it in for a lightning weapon, now they're going to be like it's going to be easier to kill specific other monsters that are weak to lightning. And just sets them up to be stronger hunters for later on.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth noting that this file starts as if you had just finished the main story in low rank. You start out in high rank with just the Hope weapon, and that's kind of like your starting point. And with this hunt in low rank, we're going to hopefully see, we have Xenadir here with the gun lance going for Kongalala. On the other side of the screen, we have Happy going for also Kongalala. So it looks like a little bit of a race here for that square. Pretty interesting. It's a good spot on the board too to get early. Just that that diagonal threat built up. It blocks a row, a column, and a diagonal. So very smart play from both of them. And yeah, we'll see how the weapons fare off. We have Hunting Horn versus the Gun Lance. I would give a partial favor towards the Gun Lance here. I feel like the Gun Lance is a bit faster. But looks like Happy's gonna give him the bonking, dude.
Yeah, Happy did say that Hunting Horn is his favorite weapon, so hopefully we see some nice Hunting Horn action coming out from him. Well, Xenadir's working as Gun Lance, and as he mentioned, he doesn't really know how to use the Gun Lance. So even though Gun Lance is probably one of the best DPS weapons in the game, if you don't really know the combinations, it's going to be a little bit tough to get that damage output that you're looking for. But yeah, it looks like Happy here having a really good hunt so far compared to Xenadir. Both haven't eaten, though. No meal. So
oh wow,
they both have low stamina and low health from the get-go, but we do have a max potion here now from Xenadir while he's hunting Kongalala.
I feel like, because you don't want to take any risks at this point. It's a pretty contentious square because there's both capture and slay. So maybe we'll see if there's like one of them goes for the slaying, and then the other one notices that the other player marked slay, the other one captures it. We'll have to see what they decide to do.
Yeah, Happy here getting a lot of really nice damage on this Kongalala.
Using that weakness mechanic as well. Getting some big damage off.
Very nice damage. But has to also be careful here, obviously, not to get too greedy, because at some point when Kongalala does get angry, some of those attacks, especially the lightning, or sorry, not the lightning, the paralyzed breath and the fire breath can be really, really devastating, especially at this low health.
Also, he was hit with the stink buff as well, the stink debuff, which makes him prevent him from healing.
Yep, yeah, he can't heal at all. The question now is going to be, like, after this, what's going to be their goal, right? Because there are quite a few other squares that they can go for right afterwards.
I think with Wilds Bingo, I think it's pretty unique because you can kind of go in your own direction. There really isn't like a right or wrong direction to go because unlike a game like Elden Ring, for instance, that has squares locked behind certain objectives or whatever, or certain bosses, This game has a lot more of like an open, I guess, aspect to it as far as bingo goes. So we'll likely see both players doing different things, going for different lines. And as we see, Happy finishes off Kangala, marks the square. That is that first square in the bottom row in the second column. Very nice. And we'll also be able to see the mod in action. We'll see what piece of gear they choose. Be very interesting to see in what direction they go as well after this.
Yeah, so there we go. We get that gold melding ticket and silver ticket, and then also the Kongalala ticket. Those allow the players pretty much to, like I mentioned before, they get one ticket for whatever they've killed. So they get a Kongalala ticket. They can trade that in for a Kongalala weapon or armor piece. But then they also get a gold melding ticket, which allows you to craft weapons or armor pieces that aren't off of monsters, but off of the guild, for example, like the guild armor set or some of the other more unique armor pieces that are one-offs. That don't have specific monster crafting for it. So we might see that here from Happy in just a moment. As he goes towards the blacksmith, you'll see him open up the crafting at some point. But it looks like he might be checking to see first.
which kind of wyvern, I guess, each monster is.
Yeah, because there is hunts 2 unique brute monsters on that row 3, column 4 as a square, as an objective. So I think he's looking to see which ones are unique brute wyverns. I think one of them is Gypsaros. The other one is going to be the Queen-Matrice. Those are 2 brute wyverns in this game that you could hunt. Yeah. And that would work really well with that row 3 because they also have Slay Gypsaros on the same line. So if you work towards both of them, that'd be a really strong, combination square to go for.
Happy might be looking at a bow gun here, trying to decide if that's what he wants. However, he cannot afford it because it is a low rank hunt, so you don't get very much money. So he might not be able to afford this heavy bow gun, actually.
Yeah.
Not again.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, low ranks don't give you the same amount of money as high ranks, sadly. So even though he has the ticket, he's missing 700 smackaroonies to make it here. Same with
those dual blades as well.
Those dual blades, yeah. Oh.
Maybe just an armor piece then? Or do they all cost 5,000?
They might also cost 5,000 here in this case. That's why you also go for the low rank Apex, because the Apex will give you enough money to even craft something.
Yeah. Right. They might have to run with the Hope weapon then for the next hunt. That's fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. They're very ahead.
And there's that fire breath, by the way.
Yeah, that fire breath. It's brutal. And it looks like Happy is going to be going for that Gypsaros or maybe the Queen-Matrice. Still trying to decide. I don't think it really matters what direction he goes. Also could go for maybe a sword and shield hunt or something like that to get that diagonal started in the top right. Also, we still have that Raydao. We have a hammer kill in the other diagonal. So a lot of options here. Definitely a lot of options here.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, I mean, sword and shield would be great. Obviously, my favorite personally. Then we also have hunting with a hammer. Again, one of my favorites. So those being corner squares. There's a little bit of a bingo 101 for some people at home as well here, is that there is something which is called bingo theory, I guess you could say, or just fighting it, or playing in bingo, is that some squares just have overall a stronger positioning on the board. So for example, a corner square covers more of the board and gives you more options. So they're just considered more valuable. Obviously, the center square is the most valuable as it has the most reach to create lines. And so people play around that. And in this case, having a square that's really easy to do, like hunting a monster with a sword and shield, is really, really powerful. So I'm expecting to see that from these players here at some point. Maybe after Xenadir gets his first kill with the gun lance, he might switch to his sword and shield and then get himself an easier square.
I do like how Happy is sticking with that hunting horn, even though they could have swapped over to sword and shield or whatever with you have hope weapons of every variety. I do like how Happy is sticking with comfort. I think comfort's kind of underrated, especially in a game like Monster Hunter. The hunts last a long time, so you want to use a weapon that you're very comfortable with, and you can maneuver around the monster with this new focus system. Actually, that's brand new in Wilds. Just being able to efficiently use your weapon is almost as important as getting an efficient square, I would say. Because if he marks his Gypsaros square before Xenadir marks the Kangala, Xenadir might be in trouble here with the column 2 building up as well.
Yep, that is true. That is very true. He sadly doesn't get the Hunt of Gypsaros without getting Flash, as he did get Flash in the very beginning there. One easy way to deal with the Gypsaros, though, for anyone at home that maybe struggles with this boss fight, is that when Gypsaros is starting to start up the flash, you have actually a red mark on its head, which means you're able to actually focus strike the head while it's charging that up and cancel out the flashing even happening. And then once you break the head twice, Gypsaros can't flash anymore. So if you make sure that you can stagger it and just break its head twice, then after that, it's free. And there's nothing you have to worry about anymore afterwards. So hopefully at some point, Happy does get that. Again, there's that red mark, as you saw on his head while he's starting to showing up that flash.
Such a goofy monster, dude.
Gets flashed again here. Has to be careful. Still Kangala, though, for Xenadir. So Happy has enough time.
Xenadir's Kangala is limping away. I wonder if Xenadir will pivot to capturing this Kangala. However, he would have to have bought a trap tool from the shop and also would need a perish room, I believe, and a sleep herb to make the sleep herb or the trank bombs. So I don't think he'll be able to capture the Kangala. However, just getting out of this hunt is definitely a good idea. Just move along with the board. Maybe swap out the weapon as well, something that you're more comfy on.
Yeah, if this was in Windsward Plains, there are those great flash bugs in the desert. And normally, if you use actually your capture net, they can turn into shock traps, right? The great thunder bugs, I should say.
Yeah.
So in that case, you could technically go for a capture in low rank if you wanted to. But sadly, there aren't any great thunder bugs in the forest. So he does miss out on that. But he does get a nice ambush attack here on that Kongalala. And hopefully this is going to be the last couple of hits that he needs to really clear out.
He's trying to get that weak spot right there with focus stack right there. If he hits that weak spot, the monster basically stops moving, and you can, send the full weak attack into his weakened limb. But definitely struggling. These baby Kangalas are definitely giving him some trouble. As Happy, I believe, is close to finishing up this Gypsaros, but it's being attacked by a Nursilla. It's being wrapped up in its web. All right.
And now it's just hanging out. Now it's just waiting to move on. Yeah, it's going to rotate out. Goes back to where it came from. I'm surprised that Happy hasn't sat down and eaten a meal yet. You can use your grill even in the middle of a quest and just go ahead and just eat something real quick just to make sure that your stamina and your health is maxed out. And even just use the raw meat to give yourself just a little bit of an attack boost.
What I would have liked to see from Happy is if you maybe have brought a greatsword or something, and that way once he's done mounting the Gypsaros, he could take out the greatsword and go for perfect guards to activate that power clash mechanic, because you can take 2 weapons in this game. It's a brand new mechanic in Monster Hunter Wilds. It wasn't any other game. You could take 2 weapons. It would have been center square actually if he got the power clash and the mount, and then also the offset. That would be a very nice combination there. But it looks like this Gypsaros is pretty tired. It's pretty weak now at this point. Been quite a while here, as Xenadir is switching off to the switch axe.
Very nice.
Looks like probably their comfort weapon, and it's going to move on towards the Chatacabra.
Okay, going for the Chatacabra here. Is that on the board here at all? I don't see it on the board.
I'm looking for Chatacabra, looking for... Maybe he's going for Thunderbugs for traps in the Windward Plains, maybe?
This might be... Yeah, there's also a thing of, going for just, a honey route, trying to get some mega potions, grabbing
maybe
IV as well for Pitfall Trap. Could be a lot of... Windward Plains has, luckily, a lot of resources that you can grab for bingo on the way to a lot of monsters, including, Thunderbugs, IV, honey, as I mentioned. So there's a lot of things that you can grab here and then be set up for the next hunt, including a bunch of captures. Yeah, it looks like we're going for
a heavy bowgun. That's right. That's what it is. Okay. I was confused for a minute because it was switch axe, but he swapped off the heavy bowgun. So that makes a lot more sense. Yeah. So this is pretty much the easiest monster in the game, and that makes total sense why you'd be doing it with the Hope heavy bowgun. I assume it's the Hope heavy bowgun, and also, once he's done with that, he's going to have those trap tools, like we mentioned, to be able to capture whatever else, like Yan Kutku or Kungalala, whatever else may be on the board. Also, worth mentioning, Chotacabra has actually some really good weapons, some really solid options. I like
Yep.
the Charge Blade personally. But yeah, Chotacabra has really good weapons and also really good armor. It's got some good perks in the armor as well. So definitely not a bad idea. Let's go for this.
Yeah, I'm gonna expect here from Xenadir. I actually don't know what Xenadir's favorite weapon to use is. We do know that Happy's is the hunting horn here, but I do wonder what their weapon versatility is like. Like, what's their worst weapon? You know, for me personally, it's definitely the light bowgun as an example. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing with that thing. But that's why bingo is so interesting as well, because you're forced to use it. You have to be good with every single weapon because you don't know if the board is gonna have that as a square. You know, being like, oh, you have to use the charge blade now. I don't know how to use the charge blade. I'm terrible with that thing. So that's that's another fun part about this type of format. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I'd like to see actually from either player is a greatsword, because if we look at that bottom left to top right diagonal, there's actually Power Clash a monster twice in one hunt and complete a hunt with a Power Clash mount and offset. So either greatsword or charge blade would work for this. All you have to do is just perfect guard monsters over and over again, and you'll eventually get a Power Clash. However, there actually are only a few Power Clash monsters in the game. There's like, I think, I can't count them all. It's like Duna. I think there's also what else is there? There's like the brutes as well can be Power Clash. There's only like 5.
Arcveld can be power clashed.
Arcveld, okay, yeah. I mean, there's definitely like a good selection, but that'd be a strong power play on the board for sure.
Chotacabra can be power clashed too.
He can, yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So
Can you,
and that could definitely be possible, especially with the heavy bowgun.
Yeah,
as
you
well.
can perfect guard with the bowgun, can't you? So.
Yep. Yeah, it's the triangle circle, I think, that allows you to like
there he is.
do
Going
like a
for
heavy
perfect guard
block.
right now. There it is.
No, yeah, he blocked it, but sadly did not get the focus arc on that attack. When Chotacabra has its tongue out, you're able to actually get a instead of wounding, because normally you go for wounds, and that way you can wound strike the monster. Sometimes they do attacks that allow you just to hit them with a wound strike as well when there actually isn't a wound present, because that's their huge opening. There it is, Gypsyros down though for Happy.
Yep.
Very
GG's
nice.
to Happy there. We'll see what the next option is, because now Happy should have some money for at least one piece of armor or one weapon. I would expect either a sword and shield or a hammer, or maybe something like a charge blade, like I mentioned, or a greatsword. We'll just see. Also with the mod, it's worth mentioning, these players, by the way, do not have access to easy potions. So when you kill a monster, if you carve it, you just get a mega potion in your inventory, because that's just a nice little touch that we added, because your resources are super limited unless you go on like a long honey run. You spend like a bunch of time collecting honey. You will not actually have potions for these hunts. So very smart play to just
there
go
we go.
for the potions. There's the Power Clash.
Yeah, very
See if we
nice.
can get 2 in this hunt. That would be pretty huge to block that column that's building up in column 2. That'd be pretty big. It looks like Happy is looking for the recipe for dash juice, for that column 5, row 4. Yeah, so it's a dash extract and 1 catalyst. So all he needs is a catalyst, I believe.
Yeah, he needs the blue bugs for catalysts, and also
the bitter bugs. Okay.
the bitter bugs and the and honey to make a catalyst. So he needs to go out and get those too, and that way he can make catalysts to make the dash juice. And then he would have 3 squares compared to Xenadir, which is huge.
This is hard for Xenadir because he did get that 1 Power Clash already, but Chotacabra is limping, so I wonder if you just go for the kill here instead of going for the second Power Clash, because the second Power Clash takes quite a while to trigger. After the first one, you need to perfect guard a lot. So we'll see if he sticks on this for 2. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea because it just blocks the column, while happybythree is going for their armor/weapon. I think this would be a decent time investment, and it looks like he is going for it because he's going for those guards. So we will see if he goes for the block. And Happy again looking at the book, probably looking for brutes again, because it's Quematrice, Gypsyros, and I believe are those only 2 brutes in the game, or are there any more?
What's it?
Rumpapolo,
Maybe it's 3.
right.
Rumpapolo and Quematrice are brute, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like Happy's going for another hunting horn.
That is his favorite weapon, as you mentioned. Yeah, but he's not going to
Yeah.
go for any of the other weapons here. Like we said, hammer is on the board. Also, sword and shield. There we go, though. Hunting a monster with a heavy bow
Chotacabra
gun.
is down.
Marked by Xenadir now, 2-1.
We'll see if he goes for a weapon or a piece of armor here, because I think either are valid with the Chotacabra.
It would have been
They're
nice to
both
get
very,
that
very
second
good.
power clash, because then he had that row 4 to work with, right? Having 2 squares already in
True,
one
yeah.
row would have been really, really
Yeah.
nice. So maybe, honestly, he should have greeted for that power clash, that second one.
Especially since Happy marked the square. We know that Happy's not currently in a quest, so if he was to get that square, he'd have to like spend so much time going for 2 power clashes. I think it should have been the correct call to go for that second power clash. But either way, we are back in the hub. It looks like Xenadir is buying trap tools or potions or yeah, so some trap tools just for 800 for some trap tools for the rest of the match, pretty much. Some barrels. Those are always nice on hunts. Happy is going for some armor here. When you're browsing the selection, these only cost 1 gold melting ticket as well, which you get 1 per hunt, I believe. And there's some really good pieces that you can pick up here. My favorite is the Guardian Sacred Coil A, which gives you level 2 earplugs, which negates all monster roars besides the Tempered Gormagala. So I would say that piece is what I strive to go for like almost every match. Looks like he's looking at the Gypceros armor.
I normally go for the guild armor piece, because that gives you Divine Blessing level 2 off of 1 armor
Yep.
piece, and that makes
Yep,
a lot
that's
of
also good.
fights a lot more manageable as well. So yeah, there's pluses for a lot of different pieces. The earplugs I think is great for sure, because you can make sure that your combos don't get interrupted. But also, if you're dealing with like heavier fights earlier on, like we have Ray Dow on the board, we've got Zhu Wu on the board, we've got Gravios on the board. Those can be really heavy hitting monsters. So having Divine Blessing on your side sometimes helps out a lot as well, right? So it really depends on how comfortable you are with what the board is offering. And then depending on that, like picking your armor pieces, I think is like super fun. Like you're kind of building on the fly a lot, which I think which makes this format really fun too.
Yeah, there's also a square that has you eating all the mushrooms, and there's actually an armor piece that gives you Mushroom Mancer, which is the skill that allows you to eat mushrooms. So there's a lot of like playing around you can do with the ticket system and armor pieces you can make with it. But we do have Xenadir here going for the Frenzied Eon Kutku. While is that also what Happy is doing? Because they're both in the. Never mind. He's in
No.
Whiteria. Or he's
Happy's in
Whiteria.
yeah, he's in
And
ruins.
Xenadir
of,
is in.
yeah.
Xenadir is in the Ice Shard Cliffs. So that'll be 1 hunt in the Ice Shard Cliffs, and Happy's going for the Zhuwu in Whiteria. So
That's going to be interesting to watch, because genuinely Zhu Wu, I think, is a little underestimated, if I'm being honest. Lots of damage out of that
he's
monster.
very difficult. Yeah, I have a very tough time. Looks like Xenadir is using the sword and shield, by the way, going for that diagonal pressure. Very nice.
Very
to see.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's going to be hunt a monster with sword and shield, but also capturing your Kutku. That's a double up right there. That's 2
And
squares.
Ice Shard
one.
Cliffs.
Yeah, so that actually even 3. This is a really good pick here from Xenadir.
Yeah,
for sure.
And this Frenzied Yen Kaku, by the way, has a lot less health than any other like tempered monster. I think it's just like it's one of those quests that just has like super low HP. Meanwhile,
to my understanding, it's frenzied, right? It's just frenzied creatures
Right,
have really
yeah.
low health, but have like increased damage.
yeah, and meanwhile we're fighting a Zhuwu over on Happy's side, which takes a lot longer, I would say. So we can even see Xenadir marking the square and being on their. Oh my goodness!
There's that Zhu Wu damage, man, and yeah,
That's the damage.
Happy's sadly not grilling a single time to like have a meal to max out his health and stamina is making this infinitely harder. I'm not gonna lie, and not having that meal buff is just gonna really slow down your momentum overall, and not allowing you to trade even with the monster, right?
Yeah, especially when we get up to the apexes, like with that Raidao square. I'm honestly kind of worried if we. Oh my God! And Xenadir goes down as well to the the frenzied Yan Kutku. Oh man!
Yeah, both of them
They're
not
both
grilling.
fasting right now. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
fasting. They can't eat.
They'll follow me over and get in a turf war with it.
That's a rough position for sure. I mean, they do have max potions if they feel like they can't do that. That's still an option.
Oh my God! That damage is crazy.
Oh, that is very, very unfortunate here. Yeah, it looks like that Happy gets a nice little mount here on this Zhuwu. Hopefully it's going to give him enough damage to where he can try and burst down the Zhuwu before too many combos come out, especially that huge mouth attack, you know, that you have to deal with. That where he stands up on the back and then jumps forward with his mouth.
Thrown off the Zhuwu's back because he ran out of stamina. It was so close there too. Had the weak spot. Proc just had to go for the attack. Oh man, dude, Hunting Horn seems so rough for this because you want to like have a defensive playstyle with this monster. I feel like Hunting Horn is like really hard for this. I wonder if Happy will switch off to a cutting weapon for the cut off. Actually, that's Nuidra. My bad. Yeah, that's Nuidra. But I guess they don't count as tails. They're limbs. They're
tentacles. Yeah, that's a little bit different. Yeah.
So no synergy there, just the Zhuwu square to go ahead and block off Xenadir's column that's built up there. But I would like to see again Xenadir going for that row 4. I think that's very strong.
So would you say that every tentacle is just an arm?
Stop being
right.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, they're all like equally sized. They're all like.
Unfortunate, he does not go for capturing a Yunkutku. He just goes for the kill here. I'm assuming he just wasn't able to get a trap tool set up. So has the hunt down at the very least, which is really, really nice. So he's going to get his carves here for Mega Potion. And also has one hunt now in Ice Shard Cliffs. Keep in mind it says hunt 2 unique monsters in Ice Shard Cliffs, so he can't do the Yunkutku again. But at the very least, he has one in his pocket, and he gets to have, you know, an armor piece now from Yunkutku or a weapon. And the Yunkutku weapons are not bad at all. Like, it's got decent fire damage.
Yeah, definitely like really good elemental damage. Especially for other monsters in the Ice Shard Cliffs, I guess. You know, with the ice theme going on there.
Very good versus, for example, like Blagonga. Blagonga's incredibly weak to fire.
I was thinking of Blagonga, I mean, I do see that Quimitri square in the bottom left. That wouldn't be a bad idea, honestly. Looks like Xenadir is going for a hammer now. Going for that hammer square, trying to build up that column 5. Wait, this is actually so smart. Ice Shard Cliffs hunt with a hammer. That's 3 squares in column 5.
Yep.
That would
maybe
be massive.
Go for Gypsaros here. That wouldn't be the worst idea. We have, you know, that still as an opening as well. So if you wanted to go for, oh, never mind. Gypsaros is not a Brute Wyvern. I mean, he could still do it for the dash juice, though.
Yeah,
the
dash juice. Yeah.
Hey, y'all, I have a question. How did the bingo
It's like this,
start?
the Zhuwu is not having it from Happy right now. This Zhuwu was angry. Kind of tired out, though. It's the one benefit of those, like, bonk-type weapons. As you can see, it's on the ground now. Those bonk-type weapons are really good at wearing a monster down and making it run out of stamina super fast. So, you know, really good stuff here from Happy to lock down the Zhuwu. Gotta be careful.
Making sure he's using those echo bubbles as well.
Yeah.
Right? To maximize DPS.
Looks like Xenadir is going for Hirabami now in the Ice Shard Cliffs with the hammer. This is a good choice. This, again, plays into that column 5 play. And I guess we'll have to see from Happy collecting materials for a dash juice or going for that raid out once these 2 get marked, because I don't know if Happy knows. And there it is.
There's that mouth attack, man, that I was talking about before, right? It deals so much damage. It deals like insane amount of damage. I think even if Happy sat down and ate a meal, right, he would still be probably at quarter health, if not still one shot almost. Because like that's how much damage that attack just deals. It's insane.
At least Happy had this camp set up, I will say. At least that pop-up camp was set up. There is a 6 pop-up camp square, so that would be a good one to go for as well. But yeah, it's always nice to have a little bit of a backup when you're in a hunt like this. That way you don't have to spend a super long time running back to the fight. So as you can see, Happy is right back in the fight. Got to be careful, though, because these hunts do send you back home after 3 faints. So got to be careful. As we're going to decide here. Yeah.
That's the worst.
Xenadir is blowing up Hirabami with the barrel bombs, dude. Oh my goodness. That is a heartbreaker.
Failed from here. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough here from Happy. Wasted pretty much a bunch of time now on this fight, and sadly is not able to cash that in. But it looks like that maybe Xenadir is looking at hit a monster with all 3 barrel bomb sizes. So we have a large barrel bomb, a mega barrel bomb, and a small barrel bomb, but only does one of them. Maybe he's going to try and do them all separately. I'm not too sure. I'm not even sure if he has all of them just yet, because you do have to get some of the materials first and then craft a Mega Barrel Bomb. You can't just buy it.
I believe you need a Devil's Blight Mushroom for the Mega Barrel Bomb.
Yep.
I don't know if there's any in the Ice Shard Cliffs even. That's one thing you have to like keep in mind when you're doing this bingo is like once you're in a quest, you're kind of stuck there. So if you miss the material for like crafting a material, like let's say you wanted like a trap or whatever, and you don't have a trap tool, like you're stuck there. You have to return it from the quest if you want that trap tool. So definitely have to be prepared for each hunt, which is like another cool aspect about this bingo.
Did you just quit or did you die enough?
Looks like Happy is shopping here.
Good. Ronnie will be playing.
Yeah, he's trying to get set up here. Doesn't have super much money. I mean, he still has 9,000. If he has any like golden Melton tickets, he could still make some armor pieces if he really, really need to. Looks like he's making some mega potions here. Yeah, this is what happens, right? When you fail a quest, you lose all your mega potions as well, and that means like, hey, maybe I should go on a honey run real quick just to make sure that I have enough honey or mega potions in this case for any of the big hunts that I'm about to do. Especially again, Zhu Wu being a big, heavy-hitting monster, you need to have mega potions. Potions are not going to cut it, or just don't get hit forehead, but that's not going to be as easy as it looks.
Absolutely. And Happy is going right back into it. Right back into the Zhu Wu hunt. And it looks like I don't believe he crafted a weapon or anything, but it looks like Xenadir is going to be getting all of these weapon-related squares. That's one thing that kind of can harm you, I guess, if you're using only one weapon type or whatever. Like, yes, the comfort helps and all, but getting those weapon squares are really important, especially if they're in those corners. Those corner squares are super important. It looks like Happy did craft a hammer. It looks like the Gypsyros hammer. However, Xenadir is like really far into this Hirabami quest, and I would expect him to be able to get the square before Happy can get this with the hammer, because this is a Hirabami versus Zhu Wu. Like, let's be real here. The Hirabami has much less health. So
one thing I would like to see here from Xenadir, by the way, if you are fighting Hirabamis, Chad, and you're having a hard time with them, you see when their tail's broken, there's like a little green fragment on the ground. You can pick that up and you can shoot it. It's going to be like a multi-attack fragment that you can shoot. And if you shoot them in the face, they will always fall to the ground, which makes it way easier to hunt them. So all you gotta do is break that tail, pick it up, shoot them in the face, and you will get a 3 to 4 second timer to just get free damage. Makes it way easier to deal with the Hirabamis.
Looks like Happy is mounting the Zhu Wu, falling off again. That stamina bar is just way too low.
Yeah,
that stamina bar for a mount on a monster like this, that's not going to cut it.
Honestly, I wish we could kind of tell Happy, like, hey, you should probably go eat. That would be a very good idea. He is using the Gypsyros hammer, so that bleed proc already happened. We can see that tick of 15 health happening over and over again on that Zhu Wu.
Oh my god, that
So that's at least nice. He is going to die here probably, though, unless he dodges it.
Oh, no. That attack is so hard to dodge. That attack is so hard to dodge. Yeah.
So I have to wait and then do it. Okay. I think I understand now, so I won't get hit by that.
Very unfortunate. But yeah, Hirabami hunting is honestly incredibly easy if you know obviously how to exploit it by using the tail breaking fragments to shoot it down, and then also using flash pods. If you do that, it's on the ground almost like 60% of the whole fight. It's just going to be laying there because of all the free damage that you get to do. Especially with the hammer on top of that.
Yeah,
so if you
looks like
have a fragment, shoot it down, knock it out, it's laying on the ground, it goes back up, flash pod, it goes back up, hit its tail, shoot it back down. It's almost like a cycled fight if you're able to,
Yeah, it looks like he's saying knockdowns right now. He's got it on the ground with the stars on its head. It's knocked out. It is not going anywhere. It's just getting back up now, but he took plenty of damage, and also it's now exhausted. That hammer is just doing so much stamina damage to this Hirabami. It looks like nice. Xenadir is comfy on the hammer, honestly. It looks like this is one of Xenadir's comfort picks, for sure. It's definitely showing on the ground yet again. Oh my goodness. The damage is just coming in. Should be down any second now, honestly. The skulls are up on the minimap. Skull on the minimap means the monster is close to dying. Should be just a few more hits here. And hopefully once the square gets marked, Happy sees that and ends up pivoting off of the hammer at least, and just regrouping. But yeah, we will see if is he going for a capture or something? Oh, a barrel bomb. I see, a large barrel bomb. Okay. Did he use a
mega barrel bomb?
Yeah, I don't know if he did use a mega barrel bomb or not. I saw
I'm not
him
sure
use
either.
one earlier, but
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a mega barrel bomb or a large barrel bomb, but he did use
I think he's looking
something.
for Devil's Blight, maybe. Or I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, potentially. Or he's
campsite?
looking for campsites.
Yeah.
The Zhu Wu here going to possibly kill. Oh, he does get the superhero jump
Wow.
here. Does not die to the Zhu Wu. That was very close, though. Optimally, what would be the best here for Happy as well would be...
No.
Oh,
How?
unfortunate. Would be
Looks
if
like they
the
just went for the
Odogaron
sneak
showed
attack.
up. There is an Odogaron here in the ruins of Wyveria that can show up here to where the Zhu Wu and the Odogaron fight each other instead. And that would be a lot of free damage that Happy could really use to make this fight just a little bit quicker for him.
Absolutely. I think Xenadir is going back yet again for another bomb. Maybe.
You.
Gonna have to
small
buy another
barrel
barrel
bomb?
bomb. Yeah. We'll see. Happy does aggro the Guardian Rathalos here. He's being chased currently by a Guardian Rathalos. That's quite a scary sight to see. He does escape with his life, thankfully. Okay, so he does see that he does need a Devil's Blight now. Xenadir now kind of like shaking his head. He does realize that you do need 2 Devil's Blights. Are there any down here, though, in the Ice Shard Cliffs? I don't
I
actually
am
know.
not sure, but yeah, what
Looking at the
Xenadir is doing right
icons
now.
here.
Yeah, you can go ahead and just like check the gathering. If he marks the gathering here, he could see what's gatherable in this area. There are nitro shrooms, but I don't think Devil's Blight. Devil's Blight is only, I believe, in the
forest,
volcano
maybe?
area and also the forest. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think those are the
yeah.
only 2 places that have Devil's Blight.
That's what I mentioned before, how like when you're in a hunt, you're like, oh, I could do this, but then you realize that, oh, you need to craft this item to get that barrel bomb square, for instance. You want to make sure that you're coming prepared to all these hunts. It's super important.
There's
Especially
a lot
if
of
you're
niche knowledge, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of like small things to know for sure. Big damage though with the hammer. Looks like Xenadir is gonna go for the kill here, just to mark that square, because there are no nitroshrooms in this area, I don't believe. So
Yep. Yeah.
there
I
we
think
go.
he's-
The big slam. That is the Weematrize
he's
with
not
the
marking
hammer.
Ice Shard Cliffs, though.
Ice
He's
Shard
not
Cliffs.
marking Ice Shard Cliffs. Xenadir, that's your second Ice Shard Cliff, dude.
Come on.
You have 3. You have 3 in column 5. 3 in column 5.
What just happened? Oh.
Mark the square.
I forgot I have rations. So
Also, we just got an $11.38 donation from the President Noir, making it up to $600 we have
Let's go.
raised for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Thank you,
Hell
chat.
yeah. $600.
Nice.
All right. What is Xenadir going to do now? Is he going to look for some nitro shrooms for that
you've been a step ahead of
mega barrel bomb?
Bro.
Or
Which is probably my fault because you were.
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure here. It's unfortunate that he's not marking the unique monsters in Ice Shard Cliffs, though. That's really... maybe he'll realize it later. Obviously,
probably
there
realize
is
it later,
technically a ruling in the other, like, the competitions that I normally run for bingo have a rule that if you don't mark squares that you've completed within 60 seconds, normally you're not allowed to mark it anymore. But obviously, these are players that have they're quite new to bingo playing themselves, and also this being a whole new format. There's a lot of new stuff happening here where I don't blame them for missing something. I mean, when Blanks and I first started playing matches as well, we would miss things all the time. Be like, oh, I didn't even realize I completed this as well. Sadly, Happy here dying again to that Zhu Wu and having to cart.
it is just like you said earlier, it is an underrated monster. Jubu is a menace, like for
Yep.
sure.
That's rough.
I mean, it makes sense, right? If you look at the armor set of Zhu Wu, it's like a crit build, pretty much, is what it's kind of promoting. It's like a multi-hit crit build type of thing. And a lot of the ways the armor sets are kind of, I like the way the armor sets kind of represent the monster, right? And like what it's going to be good at. Like if you know, for example, that you're going to be building Uthduna armor, it's going to be water resistant. It's going to be able to make you run through water and mud more easily, because that's what Uthduna does, you know? So like
Yeah.
having armor sets that represent the monster like that, I think are really cool. But also, yeah, the armor set of Zhu Wu is damage, and that showcases that Zhu Wu itself has damage, you know?
I do think Happy is now pivoting to dash juice. Is that what God bugs create? Do they create dash juice in any way, or is that for another
No.
square? Poison
No, that might be
bombs,
for
maybe.
something else.
Failing.
Yeah, I think it's bitter bugs and honey for catalyst, and then it's going to be just the dash extract, which you get from Gypsyros, and then the catalyst that make dash
Okay.
juice. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he's going for God bugs here. Maybe there's something else that he's looking at to craft. Maybe he's looking at making max potions, because God bugs, I think, do make max potions.
Right. And that would be another way to circumvent the having to eat a meal to get full HP or whatever if they
Or
truly
just
don't.
have a meal. Just pop out that grill, baby. You got that in your
It
inventory.
looks like Xenadir is going for the Whopper actually, because he is making it plenty during the daytime. He's resting until plenty. I think Happy's going for the Whopper too. They're both going towards the same area in the Scarlet Woods, and I think they're both going for the Whopper here. Actually, could be a Whopper race. We're going fishing. We'll see how it goes for both of these runners here.
We're going fishing, boys. And while we're fishing here for some fish, we're also fishing maybe for some donos here. We have St. Jude, by the way, running with MomoCon. If you guys would like to donate, more than welcome to. There are, I think, links on the Speed Run Gaming channel to go ahead and donate towards St. Jude. That would be very much appreciated to keep supporting the charity. Would be fantastic. And let's see if we can find some big whoppers here. There are some
This is
big
absolutely
fish.
a Whopper race right here.
Xenadir definitely very far ahead, by the way, with I believe that's a Gajao.
Again?
Is that how you say it? I think
man.
it's Gajao.
This
Gajao,
is gonna be-
Gajao.
This is gonna be a huge snipe, I think.
Yeah. Oh, Xenadir really knows how to use the fishing rod
Wow,
here.
that is a oh,
Very
got it.
nice. He got it.
I can't read that. It's a gastrodome tuna, I believe. Thank God. He got a big tuna.
Very nice. Xenadir taking that away here from Happy now. That's what we like to call a snipe. And that's looking like a good old column 3 here now being worked on by Xenadir.
What a huge turnaround from Xenadir. At the start, we saw Happy strike first with Kangala and Gypseros, but now it looks like Xenadir's in the driver's seat now with 2 columns potentially being threatened and also 2 diagonals. So very good stuff here from both players. Really good back and forth here that we're seeing. This is what bingo's all about, dude. This is
Yep.
the thrill of bingo, man. Seeing a match flipped on its head like that. And it looks like I believe Xenadir is going for more camps because that does work well with the Whopper square. You make a camp up there where the Whopper is to rest, and then you can go and you can collect the rest of the camps because there's a lot in the forest. Actually, I think there's actually 6 total in the forest. So we will see if he will go for all 6, or maybe just is gonna go for some collection and then gonna go for his next hunt. So we'll see. Looks like Happy's doing the same thing. Checking again that monster field guide for which monster is which type, because that is very important to know. It's also hard to remember as well, which monster is which type. Oh, Happy's going for the smoke nuts. That's for the poison bomb. That's actually, I like that a lot. That is a huge block. That is a diagonal block. It is a row block on row 2 and also a column block for column 4. So that is a very, very efficient square to go for if you are a happy by 3. I like this decision a lot, actually. It's going to be smoke nuts, by the way, and the toadstools. That's what they are. Yeah. And he's going to craft 2 bombs here. So he needs to kill 3 bugs with each bomb, essentially, if he wants to get the square in 2 bombs. Hopefully he can get this done. I would say safest play is to go for a Scarlet Woods hunt. In worst case scenario, you just have to go grab some more. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening.
I don't know.
here.
I would disagree, actually. I would say when we're playing near Chutacabra, all those bugs that are hanging out there.
That's true. That's true. They all would
a
die
lot.
to one bomb.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, those, what are they called again? I forget.
It's
It's like your first quest, literally, when you play the game, you know? Yeah, I forget. I can't think of the top of my head either right now.
Oh, he's going for 8 Vespoids. I see. I assume the Vespoid quest just has a bunch of them lumped up together. So that does make sense.
Balakshi or Block. Yeah, those ones.
Yeah. So it looks like Happy is just doing some collecting. You're gonna want to be collecting all the time in bingo because you don't have much downtime. There's always gonna be a square, a priority square on the board to go for. So on your way to these objectives, you have to be looting everything you possibly can. And part of that is knowing which groups of loot are best to grab. And let's see this poison bomb here. Let's see. He's got about 2 lined up. Hopefully this 3rd one flies in. Oh. Will they behave? Will they all fly together? We'll see. They're all moving.
Yeah, it's currently waiting it out here.
Catch
There
some
it
buzz.
is.
That's 2. That's 3.
That's 3.
Huge.
Very nice. Just has to do 3 more Vespoids with 1 Poison Bomb. And we have 4 camps here created by Xenadir, by the way. So he's definitely working on that camp square right now, trying to block out that row 3, but also maybe progress that column 1, you know? Trying to create some more pressure for himself on the board. It's going to be a nice 5th square that he's working towards, and also uncontested, which is always really nice, you know, knowing that you're not wasting your time.
For sure, yeah. That Whopper snipe was pretty huge, but I think this pickup of the poison bomb square is going to be equally as big to change the momentum of the game, because that's going to be a lot of blocks with one square.
Oh, I think he just realized that he doesn't have enough guild points to make any more camps.
Oh no!
So he needs to go on a
another
hunt
monster.
now. Yep. He has to go on another hunt to get some more guild points to actually craft some more camps. While Happy is just going to go ahead and collect a little bit more and then try and find some Vespoids that he can...
Looks like there's 3 that are asleep right here. That should be 2. That one escaped. There's no way. He actually escaped. Oh, he's dead. He's dead.
Oh, he just pulled it in. That is 6.
That is
Very
the square.
nice.
That is a big block. Happy by 3. That is a big block.
Very nice strat. Very nice strat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could grab.
All right. Well, that changes momentum a lot. Let's see what Happy will go for next. It looked like for a minute there that Xenadir was going to run away with the match, but it looks like Happy is back in it. I would like to see Xenadir pushing that column 5 maybe to push Happy into Raydao or Dash Juice. I mean, he would have if he marked that Ice Shard Cliff Square. However, it looks like Xenadir is now going for that Quematrice for the square in the bottom left, and also Brute Wyverns, I believe, is in the board as well. Yeah, that is a square in row 3, column 4. That is that Brute Wyvern square. But I don't know if Xenadir has the trap or not. I would assume so. I saw Xenadir grabbing trap stuff beforehand, but looks like Xenadir is using the Switch Axe now, which I'm happy to see this, because Switch Axe is one of my
Really
favorite
fun.
weapons in this game. Yeah, super cool weapon. Also very good against Quematrice. You can kind of keep Quematrice locked into place for a very long time.
Yeah, if you get that sword mode leveled up nicely, you know, that red bar that you see maybe a little bit under the health bar there, that little red buildup that you see, now it's fully maxed out. You can go ahead and do this move right here. It's just really, really powerful.
The big full release
and
slash.
that should definitely, you know, stagger the Quematrice very frequently to where you can just constantly do it over and over and over again. As you see Xenadir doing it right now.
Wow.
Very nice. One more hit. Also, after that, if you do the combo, if you do circle attack right afterwards, when you're in axe mode, you almost charge it up all the way again to where you can do it again. Like, you can almost cycle it over and over and over. But we do have that bar almost filled up yet again. So there we go. Xenadir again.
There it is again.
Going
Charging
for
up
that
that
attack.
focus strike.
And that should
Full
knock him
release slash.
over. Huge knockdown. So yeah, Xenadir
There's that circle
melting
attack. Yep.
this Quematrice.
Into the Focus Assault again, because I believe the Focus Assault does charge up the axe only if you finish in axe form. It looks like he's fully out now. Oh my goodness. You can just keep this going. You were not lying about that. You can just keep this machine going.
It is absolutely
nice.
insane. Like, Switch Axe is incredibly, incredibly powerful.
Wow. I think it's almost dead. Like, I'm pretty sure he's done enough damage. Like, and there goes the tail. That's one
There
tail.
goes the tail,
for
yeah.
Xenadir.
He's like, I can't stay.
We should be seeing a quick Quematrice here, a quick kill on the Quematrice, but we can check in with Ash real quick. Are there any donos or announcements?
We don't have any donos right now, but I am so happy to see that we have already raised $600 for St. Jude Children's Hospital. It is really, really awesome and such a great fundraising effort here. We also have QR codes out on the stage if anybody walking by wants to donate. And I'm pretty sure you can type !donate in the chat if you want that link.
That was great. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely keep the donos coming while we have this match going on. Rumpumpola here right now for Happy as we get some nice hammer action. That
Looks like
square
they're
is
both
already
going for
taken.
brutes.
Yeah, but sadly, I don't know if this is going to be too great for Happy in this case,
Right,
as
'cause
Xenadir
it's
is
gonna be
already
a
farther
snipe.
into his first hunt. If
Yeah.
if Xenadir goes for Rumpumpola right afterwards, yeah, this would be a little rough for Happy in this case.
Still using that hammer that he got from the Gypceros. Does some decent damage as well. Also, again, those strike weapons. Boom! Okay, that's the big explosion.
Very nice fight from Xenadir. Like, Quimitrice didn't even get to like relocate, which normally is a very normal thing for monsters to do. Is like when they're weak, they try to run away because they're wanting to go to their hideout and rest and get some of their health back. Didn't even get to relocate. So that's a very, very nice hunt here from Xenadir. Sadly,
very efficient.
The square is captured Quimitrice, not kill it. So he does get a kill here, but doesn't get to like mark anything on the board just yet. But he
it is one
gets
brute
to,
still.
Yeah, he still gets one brute
It also
wyvern
kind of hides the progress. So technically, it could be a snipe on Happy's side if he goes for this Rumpampolo right now, and Happy has no way of knowing that Xenadir went and did Quimitrice because he didn't mark the square. He didn't capture it. So this could be a little bit rough for Happy if he ends up finishing this hunt and then also starting up another hunt on a Brute Wyvern. So we'll see what ends up happening here. Looks like he's going for a mount now. He's got to get that weapon attack.
There we go.
Boom. Boom.
Very big damage.
Big
and
damage.
Possibly some knockout happening here as well.
Yeah, look at that.
Let's try to get that focus strike. There we go.
Again, wow, going for the focus strike again. It looks like, would the Xenadir choose the next hunt? Or are
I think
they
he's
just
focusing
loading
on
into
making
the
camps
area?
here rather than going for kills.
Right.
Although he is going for Rumpapola here now as well. So yeah, he's going to try and snipe away that unique brute monster square. Because this is going to be his second hunt already. Yeah, really nice call here from Xenadir. Going to be blocking out that row 3 and that column 4 right away with this clear if he does get it.
I think that Switch X is really making a big difference here. Just the damage of the Switch X is just like it's not even close to what the hammer is doing. The Switch X is just like completely outpacing the hammer, I would say, just in terms of like raw damage output. Look at those numbers, dude. Like 145, 131 on the sneak attack, and then once it gets the sword form going, it's gonna be even more. There's the offset as well, I believe, or some kind of some counter strike that he did from the Switch X there. Like you have so many tools, I feel like, with that weapon. It's just, it flows so well.
Very nice here. Both of them fighting. Currently, Happy having a completely deflated Rumpampolo, which makes his fight very, very easy, as there isn't any explosions happening. But has to stay on it because at some point that Rumpampolo will inflate itself again, and then it's not exhausted anymore. As of right now, it gets a lot of free damage in, which is nice.
Yeah, it's just funny looking at the difference between a completely deflated Rumpampolo on the right side and a half inflated one on the left. Oh, it does end up whiffing that full release slash. That's okay though, because you can go ahead and you can just charge up that axe mode in just one focus assault, I believe. If this Rumpampolo will behave for 1 second, does behave for 1 second, gets the focus in the power axe finisher, and there goes that sword form. Is already charged back up again to full. Yeah. Very nice here. Does get poisoned. Doesn't really affect him that much though. He is full HP, which is very good. I would say if you're going to be playing this aggressively. Yeah. It also looks like Happy is also full HP, so I assume they ended up eating a meal or crafted a max potion or whatever. But nice to see that both players are at full health now. Because it feels like it's harder to fight these monsters for sure when you're like lower on health. Like it's way harder to actually efficiently trade with monsters, deal a bunch of damage when you're, worried about dying in 2 hits. So good stuff from both players here. It looks like both Rumpapolos are back to fully inflated. We'll see how that turns out for both players. Full release slash again for Xenadir.
Very nice.
That is there's a lot of damage.
Yeah, deflated Rumpampolo happening there. What it feels to chew 5 gum. Going to be absolutely blasted by his Switch X one more time. It should knock him over here in just a moment. He is exhausted. This is definitely a very nice Switch X kill again from Xenadir. You can definitely tell this is a weapon that he's comfortable with just by how he's using this compared to the gun lance and maybe even the hammer. Like this is definitely like a very, very nice performance from him here.
For sure, yeah. And I wonder where we'll go next. Can you cut off the Rumpampolo tail, or is that tail not cuttable? I assume you can't. You just
it's
deflate
breakable.
it. Yeah,
I don't think it's cuttable.
I don't think you cut it. Because, I mean, that is an option for Xenadir to start working towards that top row, actually. That is 100 oil well basin for both players, so that is a contentious square, I would assume, will be at some point, because there also is new Udra Tentacles as well. So if you could do Rumpapolo now, mark that Brute Wyvern square, and then go for new Udra, that's oil well basin and new Udra, and then you just go for the tails and the Gypsy Arrows hunt, and that is a bingo line right there. That is a win condition for Xenadir. Otherwise, on Happy's side, he will have to work on, because he's a little bit behind, he will have to work on either rushing his own bingo line or work on blocking all the other bingos so that Xenadir cannot win by a bingo line and has to instead go to a majority game. So we'll see what the strategy is for both these players. I assume both of them just want this Rumpolo dead at this point. They've both been in the trenches for quite a bit now, going through deflating and inflating phases. Looks like Xenadir's is limping away.
Yeah, this is insane. Like Xenadir pretty much catching up completely to Happy while already having killed the Quimitrice. So again, like this shows like efficiency in a weapon, right? Where like some people are like, well, you know, hunts take longer. It really depends on how comfortable you are with the weapon. Because if you know your combos and you know how the monster's going to act on specific attacks as well, you can really maximize damage. And some of these hunts can go really, really fast. And we're seeing like, you know, how Xenadir is able like to be very comfortable with the switch axe, getting a lot of punishes in, and is like just full up catching up to a Happy in this fight, even though he started later.
Yeah, I mean, it's very nice to see, to be honest. And there is the Happy. It does take Rumpolo down, but it does look like Xenadir will get. Oh, that's Oil Well Basin for Happy. That's
yeah,
row 1 blocked as well. That's huge. That's big.
Very nice.
And that's
but it does also tell. Wait. Oh, because Gypsy is also a brute. Is it?
I believe Gypsy is a bird wyvern.
Then what was his other brute? Was a Congalala brute?
Oh,
Congalala was brute.
That's a Fang Beast?
Fang Beast,
no,
right? So then what's the other brute? Zhu Wu? Zhu was not a brute.
No.
So is that a wrong mark?
It could be.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Okay.
he unmarks it because he's like, I'm not sure.
Okay, and that is going to be brutes for
And that's
Xenadir.
exactly where Xenadir was like, oh, cool. You just unmarked that? Well, that's mine right now.
I think you get it because I don't think I actually get the Chemitrice yet.
You didn't do Chemitrice yet?
No.
Yeah, so they're...
Yep.
No, I think you get that one.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, they're talking
Yeah,
about right
so-
now. So yeah, there we go. There we go. There's the mark here from Xenadir. A huge pickup.
I didn't notice you went hard.
For sure, yeah. It's now 5-4 for Xenadir's favor. And now I wonder where... I think both players can take a minute here to think about what their next hunt is going to be, because from this point, like, Xenadir has row 4 and column 5, whereas Happy has column 2, and it's quite a strong threat with the 2 squares already. So I, again, would like to see one of those weapons that can power clash. Also could pick up center square with that power clash objective. Because you could even, like, if you're like Xenadir or if you're Happy, in Xenadir's example, you could just take a charge blade or a greatsword into a hunt, get the power clashes and the offset, and then switch to the switch axe. You don't have to stay with that weapon the entire hunt unless the square says so.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be interesting. Like when what they pick. Obviously, we've done this quite often. So like, there's lines and like combinations that we see that are quite powerful. Sadly, Xenadir technically should have 6 squares. He has killed 2 monsters in the Ice Shard Cliffs. So still technically in the lead there, especially for that column 5. That column 5 would be really, really nasty if he marked that square. Which is just unfortunate because that would really push him to either get that dash juice, right, or get that Ray Dow.
Well, it does look like he is going for that square, even though he does already have the 2 monsters. He's going for that 3rd monster in the Ice Shard Cliff now with Nursilla.
Okay.
See how that one goes. Probably going to be pretty quick, honestly, because all of his hunts have been pretty quick with the switch axe.
Yeah.
So this is going to be interesting. I wonder how Happy's going to react. He might just invest time into going for the dash juice instead of going for a Ray Dow, because that also would end up blocking the row 4 as well. for Xenadir. So
Oh,
I
it
would
looks like
say
is actually going for a camps instead here. Actually, he just laid one.
I see. Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably close. I mean, we've seen him go in the forest, grab camps
Yeah,
there.
he has 4 marked on the board here, so that was his 5th one just now. So this would be his last pop-up camp
Okay.
coming up right
Yeah.
now.
And then maybe finishing Nursilla or just pivoting out into something else. We'll see.
Yeah.
I would like Dash Juice from Xenadir, though, honestly. That would be a nice, efficient square to grab because it would promote both the row 4 and the column 5. That'd be kind of nice. And then forcing Happy into the Ray Dow because that'd be a big time sink for Happy for sure. Okay, he does have enough points. There we go. That is camps. Very nice. Good stuff. And it looks like Happy is going for materials in the Whale Well Basin. That could be the the Devil's Blight, I think. He's marking Devil's Blight on his screen for that barrel square, I believe. The row 2, column 2. Actually, this could be a column 2 rush from Happy as well. If he does get the square, that'd be really nice. If he forces Xenadir into either Gyptros without a flash or Power Clash twice, that would be really good from Happy.
Yep.
I'd like to see it a lot, actually.
Definitely wouldn't be bad. We are seeing the Nursilla here as well, by the way, from Xenadir, because I guess, he forgot that he killed 2 monsters already, the Frenzied Ian Kutku and the, what was the other one? The Harabami in Ice Shard Cliffs. So he's going for his 3rd kill here now in Ice Shard Cliffs, the good old Nursilla, which also has some pretty good weapons.
Yeah.
In case you ever want to
sleep
go
weapons,
for any of those.
for sure.
Yep.
I like the sleep greatsword a lot because you can end up putting it to sleep, and that wake up attack does like double damage. So you just do a true charge slash on the head with double damage, and it's just like super juicy with that Nursilla greatsword.
Very, very
Looks
nice.
like Xenadir's going for that weak spot, trying to get this chain going here, trying to get that full release slash like combo going here. That's the first one. And now it's on the ground. Another weak spot on the leg. Weak spot gets popped on the ground again, and this is we're gonna see like this is like where the Nursilla gets nuked. Yeah, it's gonna get nuked here. This is not good for Nursilla.
Very nice damage. Yeah, dude, Switch X has such high DPS, and especially if you have a build going into it, either it's going to be the like the frenzy build, with what's the word?
The Gormagala armor set.
Yeah, the Gormagala. Yeah, thank you very much. The Gormagala set for the frenzy build. Like, Switch X can, I would say, almost be one of the best weapons in the game. I do think, which one's like outperform a Charge Blade? And maybe Gun
I would
Lance?
say Charge Blade and Gun Lance are also up there. I think all 3 are pretty top tier. Same with Sword and Shield. Honestly, like a lot of weapons in this game are super viable in like a speedrun sense. But in a bingo perspective, I feel like it's a little bit different because you don't have all those like higher tier perks and like max tier weapons or whatever. So I would say in bingo, the Switch X is super good because it doesn't require a lot of perks to make the weapon work. It just,
that's where
the weapon comes out the box ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I think Charge Blade kind of falls off, right? If you don't have a specific armor set that really promotes Charge Blade and have those exact jewels that you need to really make it shine, Charge Blade, I do think, falls behind just a little bit behind the Switch X. Like you mentioned, the Switch X just overall, you just get the weapon itself and it just does well, especially if you have the power affinity.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that power file is super strong with the full release slashes. Looks like Happy is going for Bitter Bugs now for the Dash Juice, I think. It would make sense to go for that double block. Is that correct? Do you need Bitter Bugs for catalysts for the
Bitter
the Dash
Bugs
Juice?
and Honey.
Okay. Cool. Wow,
Bitter
that's a good
Bugs
counter there from Xenadir, by the way. Countered the claw attack from Nursilla. Does big damage as well from a full release slash. Has the sword charged up again. We'll see if he goes for that. Yeah, he's going for that focus attack again.
Oh, nice dodge.
There we go. Should be another knockdown here in a minute. Boom. Knockdown again. Full release slash again. Yep.
Jesus, dude.
It's just so much damage.
So much. And there it is. Full reset right away after,
Back
that
into
forward
axe
slash.
form.
You can go straight back into it. Goes for that
Another
weak spot,
focus attack again. Boom, again. It's not on the ground again, however. Going for full release slash again.
Should knock him over. Oh, no, it does not. Wow. I really expected it to, though. Not going to lie.
Looks like, ooh, there. See,
Oh.
that was that mechanic that Domo was mentioning earlier about Kungala. Most monsters have a period where when they do a big attack, they'll like be on the ground and their body part will grow. It'll glow red, and you can actually go for a weakened attack like that. That's the unbridled slash, not the full release slash. But Nersilla's on the ground yet again. The skulls are up on the minimap. It is close to going down here. It looks like it's running away now. Hopefully, Xenadir can skip the running away phase. Maybe if he has a flash pod or, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Just have to run a tiny little bit to chase down the Nersilla. It's limping, so it's like really not that fast. It won't get away that quickly.
Yeah.
And
he's trying to get that focus strike on the butt before it started running away.
Yeah.
But luckily it didn't run too far, so that's pretty good. So he saves a good amount of time here. And yeah, Happy, I think, just running around currently collecting for a bunch of the things that are on the board. You know, the barrel bombs, and also for the crafting the dash juice. Just grabbing a bunch of different things here to then maybe cash in at some point. I do want to see what his last hunt will be, or not last hunt, but more or less next hunt. Possibly the Gyps Rouse without getting flashed. Like I mentioned, if you are able to just like knock it out and then break that head twice, it's a really straightforward fight and almost like insanely free, especially if Slay the Gyps Rouse is on the board. Getting both of those together is really, really nice. But you could definitely do a Gyps Rouse with the barrel bombs. You know, that's definitely an option.
Yep. I also would like to see the completed hunt using a bleeding pot on a monstrous wound. That one seems pretty like inconsequential to the hunt. Like all you have to do is go to up to one of these like crocodile-looking animals, and you just like harvest a slinger material from the beak, and that is a bleeding pod, and you can just shoot at a weak spot, and that's like a super quick square, I would say.
Yep. There we go.
Xenadir does take down Nersilla. That should be 3 monsters in the Ice-Shrouded Cliffs, not 2. But gets the job done. Gonna carve the Nersilla for the mega potions, then probably going back, crafts maybe like a sleep weapon. We'll see. See what he chooses to do.
Yeah, very nice from Xenadir here, grabbing those kills. However, grabbing those mega potions, and then yeah, with that, we'll check in again quick here with Ash. Do we have any donos or announcements to go over?
We are still here at $600 for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. It has been really wonderful being able to raise funds for this. So if you are out in the audience, scan that QR code. Send us a message. Tell us what your favorite monster is in the game, or maybe your favorite weapons. You know, any kind of dono message is always fun to read here.
100%, yeah.
Absolutely.
Learning what people like for monsters, or what they like for weapons, or even how to dress up your favorite palico. Like, what armor set do you like to dress up your palico in? That would also be nice to know while we are here continuing in our bingo match, trying to see what exactly these players are up to next. We have a nice threat here from Xenadir on column 5, looking to slay a raid out or craft some dash juice. However, we should get that mark here from just a moment here, and from Happy crafting that dash juice to block out that column 5. So not a bingo line potentially that we're going to see anytime soon, sadly.
Yeah, going for bingos is always really cool to see, like how the players decide to like stack up the line and then like go for it in the end. Yeah, it looks like Xenadir is going for that Guardian Sacred Coil with the level 2 earplugs, listening into the stream, listening to my advice.
A little bit of private coaching happening here. Yeah, we do see some of the stats, by the way, that Happy has currently active. One of them being critical draw level 3, which that is really, really nice. For anyone that doesn't know what that means, critical draw level 3 is pretty much whenever you draw your weapon, there's a high likely, if not almost a full guarantee, that the monster will micro stagger. So that would be like a full stagger where they lay on the ground for a little bit, but just they will flinch. They will flinch from you just drawing your weapon. That's really good for weapons like, especially the longsword. The longsword does very well off of critical draw. The sword and shield is pretty good with critical draw as well. But some of these other weapons that you keep out, like the switch axe or the charge blade, can utilize critical draw as well, but it's not as common. I would say for greatsword, that's also a big, big one for sure, right? Going straight to that that charged attack with your critical draw as a buff is always huge.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see that, though, at some point here from Happy, is going to be switching to that greatsword and really utilizing that critical draw stat ability, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, it'd also be good to see the power clashes as well. Maybe a Gypceros with a great sword with 2 power clashes, maybe preventing the flashbang as well. That'd be a huge. He could actually win the game, by the way, off of a Gypceros with all 3 barrel bombs with 2 power clashes, by the way. So this is a huge play potentially from Happy.
Oh, we do see Xenadir here going for Zhu Wu, so we're possibly going to see another interesting Zhu Wu fight. As we mentioned, one of the more menacing fights here currently on the board. And yeah, I don't know. Can you power clash the Gypceros?
I do not believe you can.
Yeah, so he would have to power clash something else, I guess, in the same hunt.
Yeah.
Narcilla, I don't think can power clash either. So, kind of running out of options here. Not gonna lie. We'll see a switch axe here now though versus the Zhu Wu. Definitely gonna be very different than the hunting horn, especially because the switch axe, as we saw in all these other fights, man, once you get one combo going, it's gonna go very quickly here. We do have Divine Blessing here as well, by the way, on Xenadir. He does have that Divine Blessing perk active with some of the armor pieces. As I mentioned, is really, really good for strong attacking monsters, especially Zhu Wu. So it's going to make his survivability skyrocket by just having Divine Blessing active. Pretty much for anyone that doesn't know what Divine Blessing is, who hasn't played Monster Hunter before, Divine Blessing is like a chance that the damage that you take is reduced by 30%, I believe. So that's a big chunk of free damage. A nice counter.
Really good counter. Yeah.
Ah, dang. Xenadir kind of, flexing his muscles here with that switch axe. Very nice counter.
Definitely a switch axe main, I would say. Definitely has a lot of time in this weapon because that is some impressive gameplay.
Yeah, that's really not easy.
Yeah. I do have a list here, by the way, actually, of all the monsters you can power clash. You can power clash the Chatakabra, the Dashaguma, or the Doshaguma, and the Guardian Doshaguma, the Anjanath, the Blagonga, the Uthduna, and the Arc. Those are the 7 monsters that you can power clash. So if any of those exist in a Gypceros hunt, that would be massive.
They don't.
Seems like they
Sadly
don't.
not.
Maybe Blagonga is in the Ice Shard Cliffs, potentially.
Oh, true. Actually, yeah, good point. No, that is true. Yeah, that would be the only one I can think of, yeah. I forgot that Gypceros is also in the Ice Shard Cliffs. Dude, Gypceros is so weird. It could be in the volcano area or the coldest place on Earth.
Right.
It could be in both.
Yeah.
Like, that's so weird. A lot of monsters don't have that. Where they always have, like, the same, like, environment / atmosphere. Like, if they're cold, they will stay in a cold area. But Gypceros is just versatile like that and can be in any area it wants to be. It is made out of rubber.
As we see, Happy, by the way, on the other side of the screen, is going for a Kongalala. I think is going for the capture here, as well as maybe going for that Bashu square as well, just so we can have 2 more squares, maybe closing that gap a little bit, because that would make the score 6 to 7 instead of 4 to 7. That looks a lot better, being a lot better of a spot, and probably going to also end up using the barrel bomb as well. So, I mean, Happy here, you saw, is going for the long play. Happy has not been marking squares at all, really, and is just going for the complete, like long haul play. And we're probably going to expect to see him just, mark a bunch of squares at once here. Like, that would be really insane to see, like, the momentum shift back into Happy's favor.
Yeah, that's sometimes like a risky thing to do, but also a very powerful thing to do is holding progression and not showing anything on the board, right? Not showing, like, what you've been working on, and then start like doing things back to back to back, which creates a lot of stress in the enemy player. There's a lot of things, a more, I'd say a very popular format right now for bingo is Elden Ring bingo, and that is a very, very common thing, right? Is playing mind games against the person that you're playing against, really making sure that, not to say that you get under their skin per se, but that you really have them like second guessing themselves and really have them feel the pressure of what you're doing on the board, and recognizing like, oh my God, like if they do this, then I'm in deep trouble, or they're really, just running away with the game. And so Happy trying to do multiple things at once really leans into that of like, okay, if I'm marking 2 squares in a row all of a sudden, it's like, okay, how am I going to play against that? How am I going to, counter what's happening? How am I going to deal with the pressure? And so we'll see how that works out for him.
The potion.
Yeah, and I just wanted to point out that like a strat like that, as someone who has experience playing bingo matches, takes a lot of composure, like not marking any squares and just being quiet for a long time. It is an experience that makes you like very anxious that you're going to lose all your squares if you don't mark a square right now. So I
Yep.
want to say like Happy is like playing the long haul game right now. That takes a lot of composure and a lot of stress management. So big props. to
It's
Happy
very
here.
much hot potato, right? You
Yeah.
don't know when you're gonna pass it on. Or not hot potato. Sorry. What was it, like the ticking bomb game?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. It's like hot potato, but not really hot potato. It's a bomb potato. Yeah,
Speaking
and
of
that's
bombs, this Switch is going crazy here on the Juwu, making Juwu cooked up like a hot potato.
real.
Juwu here probably going to be going down a lot quicker than when Happy's in the hunting horn, because again, we were mentioning before, Switch just does a lot of damage. And look at that, boom! Yet
There it
again,
is.
full release slash on all the tentacles and the
My
head.
lord.
And there goes the axe charged up yet again. This machine just never stops, dude. It just, oh my god!
And he gets
and
the vine trap
Juwu's
right
in the vine
afterwards.
trap.
Oh my god, dude. He just has everything prepped right now.
Yeah,
Very
This
nice.
is really satisfying to see. As
Yeah, it is.
Happy, big hit on the Kungalawa, big bonks on the head. Very nice. Knocked him out. Very nice. Good hits here. Still using that Gypsero's hammer, by the way, from earlier on in the match. And what's nice about starting with a weapon early on in the match is that you have that weapon for the rest of the match, and so you can then focus on making armor.
Yep.
And I assume that's what Happy's been doing with all of his armor pieces from all the monsters he's been fighting.
Oh, he's got to be careful though. Yeah, being paralyzed and body slammed right afterwards is so much damage.
Yeah.
So much damage here. But that Juwu for Xenadir here should be starting to get really low. He doesn't get exhausted here, which allows
That's
Xenadir
crazy.
to go for a potential full combo. Yet again, going for that weak spot.
The skulls are out
Explosion.
yet again, by the way. The skulls are out for Juwu. It is close to
Yep.
being dead, and it is scurrying away now. It's limping away. It does not get the focus strike on the limb, unfortunately. That would make the Juwu freeze in place, and would probably have enough damage to kill. But we're going to see it scurry off to its resting spot, which is actually very far away from where he is right now in Wyveria. So he's taking the hike down to Juwu's lair. As you can see, it's getting farther and farther away. Meanwhile, Happy is getting mauled by baby Kungalawas, fighting his way out with the weak spot. Boom, big hit there. Yeah. Gets the stink effect on him. He will no
Gets
longer
the
be able to
toot
heal his
treatment.
character. Yeah.
Hey, if I can jump in real quick, we just got a $96.96 donation, which makes
Let's go.
our total
Massive.
$696.96.
Very nice.
That's amazing.
Did it come with a message?
It did not come with a message.
Unfortunate. But you know what? We see the message in the numbers. We appreciate it. Thank you very much for the dono. That's huge.
Thank you.
And yeah, let's see here what's going on with that Juwu. Hopefully, we do get this quick kill here from Xenadir. Going to be marking that Juwu square in just a moment. Sadly, not really progressing anything. He already has that column 3 blocked, and already has that row 5 blocked. So this square is just a freebie. We should get it very soon, though, and maybe makes an armor piece out of that.
Yeah, the Juwu has, like you mentioned before, like that's this like crit, like multi-hit armor pieces, and so I'll be interested to see what Xenadir ends up crafting with it, because he seems to be very comfy with this switch axe right now, unless the Juwu can make a switch axe with power file that he wants, which that would also be completely understandable. But I think is he rocking the Hope one still? I don't actually know. It looks like it's the Hope one still. But looks like
I
Happy's
believe
Kungalawa
so.
did run off. Gonna be having to chase that one down. This is gonna be a capture, I assume, right? Because there's
I
that square on
believe
that
so.
diagonal. Yeah, so that'll block the diagonal for Happy. So that's really good that he's covering all of his bases pretty much before going for this big home run play on the column 2. I kind of like this as well. Very smart play here. As you can see, trying his best to get him on the ground.
Nice.
As Xenadir takes down the Juwu, marks both squares at once with the Bleeding Pod and the Juwu. Very nice here. Goes to 9-4 in Xenadir's favor.
Very, very nice. I was laughing before because I saw Xenadir, you know, sometimes Zulu in his own like house or in his own like little hideout will go into the walls and will pop out of nowhere. I just see Xenadir moving his camera frantically, trying to see where Zulu comes out, and it came right behind him and just almost killed him. So that was a fun experience to see off camera. The pure panic.
Yeah, dude. Like, I don't know, man. Fighting these monsters, it's a lot different than fighting like Elden Ring monsters, I would say.
Yeah.
Because the fights take a lot longer, and you lose a lot more progress when you die because you have to run all the way back. So it is very frightening to be in a spot where you can die.
Hey, y'all, I'm going to jump in and say we got another donation.
Very funny.
We got a $25 donation from YFM with no comment, but that brings us to $721.96. We are so close to $1,000, y'all.
Super close. Great start. Great
Very
start.
nice,
We're
guys.
You'll love to
only,
see
what
it.
is that? Quick maths here, chat. That is $278.04. Easily doable.
Easily doable for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Can we get a $5 train going, perhaps? For,
Ooh, I'd
Monster Hunter
love to
Wilds
see a
bingo?
$5 Monster Hunter train.
2 bombs, 3 wipes.
Well, Tom can do math. You damn right I can. And you know what else I can do is commentate some Monster Hunter Wild bingo, and that is looking to see that Xenadir is crafting possibly some things here. Maybe looking at Dash Juice. Maybe going for some honey. He also has Quimitrice locked down. Maybe he's going for like capture Quimitrice in column 1. And that would be a nice little pressure point here. Looking at cutting off New Udra tentacles, capturing Quimitrice, and also capturing Gravios.
Yeah, and I don't know if Quimitrice's tail can be chopped off, but he did already cut a tail, and I don't know if it was Quimitrice. I think it was, actually. We saw Quimitrice's tail get chopped off a couple hunts ago for that Brute Wyvern square. So we'll not progress that square, but I think this is a good play. I think this is a very good play. It looks like Happy is going for the bombs on Kongala. Boom!
Very nice.
Big explosion there. That's all 3 bombs, I think. And now going to go for the capture now, I believe, because he is. The skulls are out.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh,
He
dive
just
bombs.
needs superhero jumped. No, go. Oh my god.
He
Oh,
captured it.
dude.
That scared me. Oh my god.
That made me so nervous, dude. There it is. Barrel bombs and
Huge.
capture. Very nice pickup
Now
here
we
from
have
Happy.
that column 2 again, like we've been talking about for Happy. We have that column 2 threat that needs to be addressed by Xenadir before you can win them a match by a majority. You have to block every bingo line. So we will have to see Xenadir address this bingo line at some point.
And I was still tapped over to bingo. Oh, that felt very good.
All
we will
right.
see.
Yeah, this might be a nice little race actually between column 1 and column 3. If I'm being honest, that'd be kind of fun.
That'd be cool to see.
We're both just kind of ignore threats from the other player and just go for their own line, hoping that they can finish it quicker than the other person.
I'm also super safe about it and just hit my.
Yeah, that would be nice. Also, the quest that we're seeing in both line seems to be about as long. I would say New Udra and Gravios might be a bit longer, but however, the square does not say finish New Udra. It's just cut off 2 tentacles. So what he could do is go into New Udra's quest, cut off 2 tails, and then just leave, and then go for the Gravios. So
Oh my
I
lord.
don't know what's faster. I genuinely don't know what's faster between the column 1 and the column 2. It is very cool to see, though, for sure.
This poor chicken is getting roasted and toasted alive right now. Dave's hot chicken happening on screen as this
Well done.
Quimitrice is losing its tail once again and potentially going to see another full charged forward slash from Xenadir. Very nice fight. So it's nice seeing the Switch X action happening on there. I do hope he goes for another weapon as well, though, at some point. Or not weapon, but maybe a different Switch X that has more power.
Yeah, for sure.
There's the capture. Very nice.
Quimitrice capture, yep. It looks like Happy is going for a charge play, by the way, for the power clashes, I think. This is a great play. I've been talking about this the entire game. I love the charge play. That's my favorite weapon in the game. So I'm kind of biased, but Happy here. Going to be picking up the either Rompum Polo for crit draw, I believe is what it was, or what else is there? I mean, it's impact file, which is what you want on charge blades, right? It's also got the poison on it, so that's pretty good. I would say also my favorites, the Chotacabra one as well. That one has load shells, which is like super good.
The bone one seems really decent with level 2 attack boost, but I'm not sure if that's necessarily worth it because it doesn't have as much sharpness, obviously, as the other ones. Because the bone tree will always have raw damage over sharpness, and especially if you're fighting Gravios, for example, if you're going to try and block that column 1, you want to have decent sharpness. Otherwise, you're going to be dinking off of that monster left and right.
Hey, y'all.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
With one of the donations that we got, because we were troubleshooting our messages here, we actually did get a really nice message that I'd like to read for y'all.
Go for it.
Sounds good.
So YFM, when they donated the $25, it said, "I'm a huge Bingo Brawlers fan and love to see it coming to Monster Hunter Wilds. Shoutouts to Domo for all the hard work on Bingo Brawlers and to Blanks, Xenadir, and happy for this great run. Can't wait to be there in person tomorrow."
Awesome. Thank you very
you.
much.
Yeah.
Very nice message.
Very kind.
Shouts to you, $25 dono person. All right, let's see here. Looks like Happy is currently working on some armor right now, looking to see which ones would be great with his charge blade that he just crafted. And Xenadir here, doing a little bit of a honey run hunt, grabbing some bunch of honeys right outside the village here. I forget what the village is called, but yeah, there's a bunch of honey right outside of it that you can grab. And also grabbing some of the great thunderbugs, like I mentioned, that give you shock traps as well. That way you don't have to get a trap tool and a thunderbug. You just go ahead and just capture the whole great thunderbug itself as a shock trap, which saves you a lot of time.
That saves a lot of time for sure, yeah. And I guess that's really good for column 1, right? Because you just capture a Gravios as well as go for the tentacles. So like you could honestly use a shock trap on the new Udra and just like have it stand in place, and you can just cut off tentacles. So I think this is a great play from Xenadir for sure. Oh, he's going for
we have a
Raid
Dow.
Dow, it looks like.
Very nice, very exciting.
Could be
here.
going for column 5.
Is he close enough? He's not.
He's not close enough.
Oh, that is unfortunate. That is so
yeah.
unfortunate. I was about to say, I think he's just too far away from that terrain to hit there. Nice try, though. Xenadir going for the raid down. This is going to be very exciting because if he does get this kill, not only is column 5 looking very juicy for Xenadir, having 4 out of the 5 squares completed, but on top of that, the raid down weapons are really, really good. So he can get a nice upgrade here from that hope weapon to a raid down weapon. That'd be very enjoyable.
You can see the boulder. The boulder does
go.
get dropped on the Raidow's head. That is very nice. You will get some free damage here off on the Raidow. Trying to get that engine going that we were talking about, that full release / loop going. Does get knocked over. This is worth noting. He's not fighting weaker monsters. This is a apex monster. This is an apex predator, meaning that it will knock him over with pretty much anything. So he has to be very careful here. And when that, there we go. Now that he's knocked over, he can go for that loop. There's the full release /. Gonna go for that circle input again for the double / into the sword charge again. Parries the roar. Very
that
nice
is
play
so
here.
nice.
That is
that
so
was
good.
beautiful. That was so nice. Oh, Raidou kind of freaking out a little bit. Also impressed by that counter. That was really cool.
That was really
Has
cool.
to be careful here, though.
Sure.
This could literally one-shot Xenadir if he's not careful.
Yep. He does need some HP. Gonna need a well-done steak here for full HP. Gonna chop down on some steak here. While Happy's going for the new Udra at the same time, going for that tentacle square to block out the column 1. This is actually really interesting because while Happy is blocking the column 1, Xenadir is already working on column 5. So it kind of doesn't even matter at all for Xenadir. It doesn't affect him in any way if he's going for that column 5 anyway.
My God, Xenadir
landing
all
a
counters
lot
here.
of counters, dude. It is really cool to see. Yeah,
Really
Xenadir is
nice
putting in
work
the work.
here. Yeah, but here's the thing, though, is that Happy still has almost all of the crafting materials for the dash juice. So even if Xenadir does go for that Ray Dow, this is actually like a huge play from Happy, if I'm being honest, because he probably knows that he has advantage on dash juice still, and then once Ray Dow is marked, Happy can just go and craft that and block it immediately without having to risk being in a hunt and trying to contest that Ray Dow.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think both players are playing at a very high level right now. They both realize what's at stake here. They both know that their lines are equally as dangerous. You know, you have to block all lines to win by majority, like we were just saying. So I think both players understand that and are trying to either push their own threats or block out other threats. So really smart play here from both players. Absolutely. Raid out here. Wow, diving in and getting countered yet again. This is actually insane to watch. This is cool. I've never used that attack before on the switch axe, and it's actually really cool to see it shown off here at this marathon.
Very, very impressive. New Udra here with the charge blade as well. New Udra, I'm sorry. I was second guessing myself there for a second. Bro, like half the monsters have like 2-syllable names. New Udra, Uth Duna, Ray Dao. Like it's so easy to mix them all up. Trying to get away from some of these attacks here. Does get killed though, sadly, by that body slam. That's rough. That's unfortunate. He has to make sure to eat that well-done steak, man. He has to meal up. Happy has to meal up. It's looking really tough for him otherwise.
I just wanted to mention as well, so both of these players are going to be at Summer Games Done Quick doing a Monster Hunter Wilds 4-player Apex showcase. So I think partly why we're seeing such clean play from Xenadir and Happy on these Apex monsters is because they've practiced them so much. And so I assume Xenadir will be using the switch axe, and he will be countering every attack that this monster can do at SGDQ. So really cool stuff to see here from both players, both kind of in their element fighting Apexes, because they're both going to be at Summer Games Done Quick doing the run just like this. So very cool stuff.
Very cool indeed. This makes me want to practice a little bit more myself, if I'm not going to lie. Because I've definitely not been very good with counters. So very nice fighting here for sure. I do wonder how far we are into this raid out fight. I would say maybe halfway, especially with all that terrain damage that he's able to get off. Oh, does not get the counterattack here. Has to be careful. Almost dies to a double laser attack here from Ray Dao. New Udra here also very not happy. The hard part here for Happy here is going to be focusing on one tentacle at a time, making sure that he doesn't take too much damage, but also gets those weak spots on the tentacles that he's going for. Gets melted, however, by the volcano attack, or I don't know, what would you call that?
Just the fire breath of
fire
doom,
breath?
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess, like, I don't know. It's coming out of one of the, like, nostrils, right? So, like, what,
true, yeah. It's like sneezing.
It's like sneezing, yeah. Just sneezing right into him.
But yeah, I would say New Udra personally for me is one of my worst Apexes for sure, just because like it's hard to see what's going on, so like it's very hard to tell what it's doing, and yeah, as a result, I'm just not able to really get the proper punishes. So definitely, like, I mean, this is like a lot harder than it looks. Like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fighting Apexes, especially in like a bingo match, is not easy at all.
Oh, it looks like that Happy also is resetting here. He's not going to be doing the New Udra fight at all. I was thinking that he's going to go for the maybe dash juice instead.
Production, Happy needs to have their microphone go back through.
Oh, does he have a question for us?
I except that one. Everyone.
Can I be in
Happy
and chatting with the Discord folks and such?
streaming. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Doing this. Come on.
Pausing?
With like the
Pausing and champing.
what, 500? Honestly, after fighting Dark right now, this feels like infinitely easier. But at the same time,
That's why that low rank hunt felt.
I'm so used to a finished loadout. That's what it's like. Yeah. It's very.
Xenadir here,
I love it though.
back into the fray with Ray Dao.
It's fun. Yeah. All right, come here. I'm finishing this.
Knocking down the vine trap.
Gets another free vine trap in just a moment here. However, Ray
It does
Dao
not
is
wanna
technically
land.
still in the air. Yeah.
Oh, in the vine trap now. Very nice. Xenadir here going for a big elemental finisher into the full release slash yet again. Skulls are not up yet for Ray Dao, so it's still not close to going down. Another parry again into
my God.
the grapple forward. That was so sick to watch, actually.
Yeah, so like the,
really
the
cool.
sword mode has more of like a counter attack where like you immediately go into like if you counter it, you automatically go into an attack. Whereas with the switch axe part of it, that is the axe, if you counter it, you knock it over. It's more of an offset. It's not a counter attack, right? The offset is where you then like knock them over and you get like a cool animation to grapple towards them. The hammer has it. The greatsword has it as well. It's really cool when it happens because it's very flashy, obviously, when you have those like zoom in cutscene type moments when you're fighting a monster. So that Xenadir does both is so cool to see for sure.
Yeah. What's up,
Absolutely.
Discord gang?
Absolutely.
It's Happy. I don't know if you can hear me.
And yeah, it looks like Happy is currently trying to figure out what is going on.
Can y'all not hear me? No?
Currently throwing up his peace signs.
Oh, I don't know if they hear me on Discord. Do you hear me on Discord?
I hear you.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what's up, nerds? Since we are both overtime and I don't know that I know that much about the remaining square options, we're just going to call it. But I wanted to jump in Discord and chat with you while we watch this raid out fight. And yeah. And then when Zen's done, we will talk a little bit about how totally different than our Monster Hunter experience usually is, and how incredibly fun it was.
For sure.
Sounds good. Yeah, let's go ahead. We'll check out this raid out fight. It is low health already, so that's good for Xenadir here. It does fly away, however. And
Raid
you'll have
out
to try and
doing
grab the
what it always does, and running.
we don't have any sound for Xenadir, by the way. Could we possibly get some game sound on his end? Thank you.
That's why we've been talking about, for our 4-player, someone switching to Gunlance for raid out, just so they can knock it down when it does the flying away, because my god, it loves flying away.
Yeah. No, it definitely
sure.
does. I mean, almost every monster does.
It's NASA super far away as well, so if it does fly away, it goes a long way. Like it flies forever. So
Nope. It does get struck by lightning.
That's very rare. does have 2 flash pods here. So I assume that when Radar goes to escape again, he will be using these flash pods. It gets a mount.
Nice mount.
Very
nice
big here.
Mount.
Skulls are definitely they're up, and this Radar is close to going down. It is not wanting to go down right now. It is flailing its head. It does not want to give up. However, Xenadir is giving it the business with that switch axe, as he has been all game. Gonna go for that knockdown now. Big full release slash here, or full release combo. Boom. Huge.
Raid to spinal cord. Damn. Yeah, sometimes you think about like, nice, and there it is, that raid out kill.
There's the raid out.
GG's.
Sometimes you really wonder, like, I've been smacking this monster in the head with a hammer for the last 20 minutes. Like, how is it not just tired, you know?
You're like, it has to die, right?
Yeah. It's missing one eyeball. Its horn is broken. I don't know what's happening, but I think it's in pain.
Yeah. Well, GG to Xenadir for taking the win here.
Very nice.
In the bingo
Xenadir.
match.
Clappy, let's go.
Let's go, Zenny.
Where were we at around like 30 minutes? I think we were.
We only had 2 each at 30 minutes, yeah.
An hour later, I mean, exponential, but wow.
Yeah, no, significantly more.
Also, Xenadir, did you realize that you actually killed 3 monsters in Ice Shard Cliffs instead of 2? So you had that square for like 20 minutes.
What was the second one? What was the
We were
third
like,
one?
does he notice? Because you got the Ian Kutku, the friends at Ian Kutku, and also the Hero Bomb. We were like, yeah, mark the square, pressure, let's go. And it just never happened. They're like, hey, you know what? Let me kill this extra spider too real quick. Like, all right, you know what? Hey, fine, that's fine. That's cool.
This was a match of significant blunders, but for 2 people who have never actually officially practiced together, I think it could have been infinitely worse. So, like,
that was my first
was
time
great.
playing bingo.
That was a
it
fun
was
match, yeah.
so interesting
Amateur
because
league.
everything that we've done is like obviously the story, but then high rank hunts and like in preparing for our GDQ submission, we were doing like just the Apex hunts with like, you know, the best loadouts we could find and like optimal everything,
optimized, yes.
which is fundamentally different than this experience. And I think it really highlights that like, I feel like I have a ton of knowledge about hunting horn, which I apparently forget when I'm stressed. I forgot to use echo bubbles for the whole first fight.
You didn't even
But
need
like, you know, like I can tell you all of the like little things about like optimizing horn and whatever, but like I don't know that much about other weapons. I don't know that much about what you need to craft certain items. Like there's all these
My biggest problem
these
right
game knowledge things that I was like, I didn't even think about how important all of that would be, but like it makes me want to play a lot more bingo because I'm like, I want to learn all of that, and like that sounds really fun to be good at.
It's a very different way of engaging with the game, that's for sure. This is my first Monster Hunter. I've never played one before, and I mean, obviously, a majority opinion, and I'd agree with, was that the game was very easy. So trying to strip all of that away and make something more difficult out of it while also being incredibly tactical because I have to pick wisely and accidentally snipe you several times.
The snipes were
very
infuriating.
This feels like it was the experience that I was kind of primed for with a lot of people saying Monster Hunter will kick your ass.
Yeah.
This felt like it was a lot more on terms with that.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be interesting to eventually step back. I bought Gen Ultimate, so going to be interesting.
That'll be fun. No, it was so funny when I was like, you know what? You sniped me on the bowgun, you sniped me on the hammer, and then I was like, I'm getting frustrated with getting sniped on hunts, so I'm gonna go try and fish. And then I saw Mark catch a whopper, and I'm like, I'm over it, I'm out. But I think honestly that was a really smart the strategy you did. I was afraid of wasting a bunch of time on hunts that wouldn't give me a square for a monster. So I was like really thinking like, oh, maybe I can do a hunt with hammer that will also like get 2 squares, and I think that greed was really bad for me because like you just went for some easier hunts with bowgun and hammer and just like knocked them out, and then you had the money and the ingredients from those hunts to build a good switch axe and go do something you're comfortable. Like that was a really smart strategy.
What if I told you that the bowgun hunt was a Chotacabra? I am a certified...
Is that the first time you fought a Chotacabra outside of story requirements?
Like being forced to.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I
don't know if you've heard Domo and Blanks, but Xenadir is the world's biggest Chatacabra apologist and gets mad at us when we do the Chatacabra event quests.
It's too easy. Come on. It's not
It
aggressive.
is, but like it allows you to get some money.
square.
You know, it allows you to do some good things like the power clashing and the offsets and stuff like that.
I had
like
no idea you could
Chatacabra
power
is one of the
clash that.
ones that like allows you to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all could hear, but Zen didn't know you could power clash Chatacabra. Is that the fight you did it in?
Yeah.
Okay.
With heavy bowgun, I power clashed it.
You can power clash with heavy bowgun?
Yeah, we've done it against Arkville. I power clashed it like all the time on accident.
Okay.
No, I had no idea you could specifically with Chotacabra, and I was like, oh, I'm
That's
not even
really
fishing for this. I got it once and then slowed down how much I was fighting it in attempts to get the second one. And after a certain point, I was like, I'm wasting too much time. I'm sorry. It was terrible.
I'm sorry, bud.
Yeah. This was an incredible experience, Domo and Blanks. Thank you so much for commentating it. I'm very curious to go back and watch this eventually.
Yeah, and anyone watching, like on stream or in crowd, who is like, surely I can't play bingo. I'm not good enough at Monster Hunter. Neither am I, and I had a ton of fun. That was a very interesting.
The barrier to entry is definitely not that high. It's more or less like if you're down to like learn all the fun stuff, and we talked about this during the commentary as well, is that bingo in of itself forces you to learn things that you probably initially do not want to learn, right? Even with Elden Ring bingo, there's a lot of things that you don't want to learn, like, where are these items, or how do I get to the specific boss, or do I have to even learn this boss? You know, it's like with Monster Hunter, where it's like, I have to learn, bowgun now, or I have to learn gun lance now because that's what the square is asking, or I have to figure out how to cut Nudra's tails. How do I do that efficiently,
Yeah, but it adds so much replayability to the game where, like, once you've done enough high rank and you're like, okay, I've done all of these hard hunts 1,000 times with my main weapon, what do I do next? Yeah. This now opens a whole world of what I can do next, which is super cool.
That's another thing that we actually realized as well when we did Monster Hunter the first time is like, I remember Blanks and I doing our first match and Blanks being like, at first I thought this would be easy, but if you take away all my armor sets and all my jewels that I'm used to, this is really hard, man. I'm like, yeah, dude.
As it turns out, when my Palico's not healing me every 5 seconds,
I miss my baby boy.
But then I still don't know what happened to that. The one chemistry hunt, it was with me and it healed me and it was chasing me. I was like, stop, I need to heal like properly. And then it paralyzed it at one point. I was like, I feel terrible. I don't know how it joined me on that hunt. I know it's not supposed to, but
that's one of the. There's one band. There are a couple band hunts because it's a feline quest. So that's Wrath from Above Go because that's what their feline actually learns the balloon flying attack where it shoots from the balloon.
That's smart.
So like, it's always it's forced to go with you on that one. Yeah.
Well-
so technically you weren't supposed to do that, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Today,
Well,
I-
at
no
any
worries,
rate,
yeah.
That was such
point
an
being,
incredible run.
it was a lot of fun.
can I ask?
So amazing, and it was really fun to watch. I am not that great at Monster Hunter. I've tried it before, but it was really fun to watch y'all do that.
Yeah.
It was a blast. Yeah, thank you, Domo, for building it. Thank
Yeah.
you, both Domo and Blanks, for doing comms for us. Thank you for everyone hanging out in chat. And Ash, do you want to
Yeah.
tell them what's coming up and what we're doing tomorrow?
You know what? Yeah, there's some really awesome stuff coming up tomorrow. More speed runs, more raising funds for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and we already raised $721.96 today. We got a lot of
96?
donations
Whoa.
during your time on
Wow.
stage. So
Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank
for your
you, y'all.
generosity
yeah,
there. Heck
I
yeah.
can't wait for the interviews, the tier list, all the stuff coming up for the rest of the weekend.
So excited for the tier list
So,
tomorrow.
yes.
What time is that?
Ooh, good question.
Because if
We should
anyone is
check the
watching right
schedule.
now, you have to be here for that.
Yeah, you got to be here. So just want to say thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you so much.
Zen. Happy for the runs. Thank you for the commentary. That has been great. And we will see you all tomorrow.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.